Before we start the meeting, um, before we begin today's meeting, notice was published in the pantograph posted online and at the entrances of this building indicating the intent of the McLean County Board to conduct a public hearing with regards to the Illinois Department of Transportation application for 2022 for show bus for Section 531111 of Downstate Operating. Public hearing?
Chairman McIntyre, they have not.
Okay, thank you. This concludes the public hearing on the Illinois Department of Transportation show bus fiscal year 2022 program. So at this time, I'm going to call the full meeting of the McLean County Board this Thursday, March 10th, 2022 to order. Please rise for the invocation or moment of silence by Member Josh Barnett.
Oh God, during this time of so much unrest in the world, let us come together and be one in peace, in love, and in harmony. Amen.
Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would the county clerk please call the roll?
Lindsay Bloomfield. Sharon Chung.
Present.
Leah Klein.
Present.
Chuck Erickson. Chuck Erickson. Absent. William John Friedrich.
Present.
Elizabeth Johnston.
Present.
Val Lehman. Present. Randall Martin.
Present.
Catherine Metzger.
Present.
Jim Rogal.
Here.
Susan Schaefer.
Here.
James Soldner.
Here.
Gerald Thompson.
Present.
Shana Wachinski. George Wendt.
Present.
Josh Barnett.
Present.
Hannah Beer. Hannah Beer. Absent. Beverly Bell.
Here.
John McIntyre.
Present. We have 17 members present and 2 absent. We do have a quorum. We'll move on to appearances by members of the public and county employees in reference to an item on our agenda. And at this time, I'd like to call the Honorable Mayor of Lexington, Mayor Spencer Johansson, up to the podium. Welcome. He's speaking on behalf of the McLean County Mayors Association. There is a button on there, Spencer.
Button on the side.
Okay, is that it? Okay. Okay, thank you. Good evening, I'm Spencer Johansson. I am Mayor of the City of Lexington and Chairman of the McLean County Mayors Association. Thank you for the opportunity to address you tonight, and on behalf of the mayors, I want to thank you for your service and support and partnership for a collective community. We as mayors have taken an oath to support the communities in which we were elected. But what we've found out is that, come to realize, is most of these elected boundaries, we have to reach outside our boundaries and concern ourselves with all of McLean County. A little bit about our association. We were formed back in the mid-'80s. I think Frank Fiegel was the first chairman of the Mayor's Association. And their goal then was to work together with all the communities for the betterment of McLean County. And I think we've done that. I think that's been a success over the years, and I'm proud of it. And this group that I've worked with, I've got this speech here I wrote. I'm not going to read that, because I keep looking down at it, and I want to look at you guys in the eye. And I can speak from the heart on this stuff, because it's really, we're really passionate about that. And this group of guys, mayors that I've worked with, are passionate about not only their communities, but this whole county. The problem we're having is the infrastructure in these smaller communities are aging fast, and we don't have the finances to help pay for all that. And it's a struggle for us. And I'm going to use Saybrook as an example. I hope Danny doesn't mind. They've got an aging water tower that has been leaking. This last cold spell, it burst and lost all the water in it. They're struggling. For them to go out and they've worked with the EPA trying to get money. They've worked with them and tried to get the money, and they're on the bottom of the list because somebody in Washington doesn't know anything about Saybrook, Illinois. They don't know what their needs are. We do. We, the mayors, do, and you guys as county board members do. And even if they would get an EPA loan, you know, how do you pay that back? With I think 658 residents, something like that. You know, you're tagging on $28 a month on their water bill. A lot of them can't afford that, so they'll turn away. So we need to do what we can to work together and help. Now, I am going to refer to my notes for a little bit here. We came before the executive committee Monday night, and they agreed with us. They approved it, and this is far-reaching than just our communities and just our towns, the Lexingtons and the Hayworth. I'm going to throw some numbers out to you. This impacts 6 school districts that educate 3,676 of our students. 19 fire districts that protect and serve close to 96% of McLean County. 9 library districts that provide reading material and other service to roughly 1,140 square miles of McLean County. And the many ag businesses that rely on community water resources to provide the much needed service for over 620,000 acres of farmland. And I think that's what makes us #1 in the market value of crops. So we're asking for your support, and we've worked together well in the past, and I think we have to look at this as one big community of McLean County. And so we ask for your support, and if I can answer any questions, I'll try to.
Okay, thank you, sir. We'll move on to the report of the consent agenda. It has it before you. What say you? Member Klein? Move and approve. Is there a second? Second by Member Metzger. Any comments, questions, additions, or corrections to our consent agenda? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. I want to refer you to item D, the transfer ordinance, as I'm required to record a 2/3 vote. Are there any dissenting votes on the transfer ordinance on pages 29 through 31? Hearing none, I'll deem them to be passed unanimously for the record. And we will go on now to resolutions and commendations, item G. I'm going to ask member Susan Schaefer to come to the podium, and also welcome Jenna Kearns. And her support group.
You're tall. McLean County Board has a proclamation for you, and I will be reading it to you, proclaiming March 13th through 19th, 2022 as AmeriCorps Week. Whereas service is a hallmark of American character and has the unique ability to bring people of all backgrounds together in common cause, and throughout our history, citizens have stepped up to meet our most pressing challenges of the day by volunteering in their communities. And whereas AmeriCorps provides opportunities for more than 250,000 Americans to demonstrate commitment, dedication, and patriotism by making an intensive community commitment to serve their country through service at nonprofit schools, public agencies, and community and faith-based groups across the country. And whereas in McLean County, AmeriCorps members and volunteers help to meet local needs by responding to COVID-19, tutoring and mentoring children and youth, supporting veterans and military families, combating the opioid epidemic, restoring the environment, and responding to disasters. And whereas in McLean County, the Illinois Justice Corps, an AmeriCorps-funded program administered by the Illinois Bar Association, supports access to justice initiatives with the goal to improve individuals' ability to navigate the civil legal system. And whereas AmeriCorps members and AmeriCorps seniors leverage millions of volunteers in service and encourage collaboration and unique public-private partnerships that invest in community solutions by acquiring the support of business, foundation, and other local partners to strengthen community impact and increase the effectiveness of their initiatives. And whereas AmeriCorps Week is an opportunity to recognize the dedication and commitment of more than 1.2 million Americans who have chosen to serve their country and to encourage more Americans to follow in their footsteps in service. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the McLean County Board that March 13th through 19th, 2022 is designated as AmeriCorps Week, and this board publicly thanks the volunteers for the service they have provided our community and in communities across the nation, adopted by the McLean County Board on this 10th day of March, 2022. Thank you. Congratulations.
I just want to say a quick thanks to Susan and the rest of the board members. Thank you so much for honoring us, our program, and our volunteers. They're the real heroes here that work in the courthouse and help people who don't have a legal representation to address their civil legal issues. So they're the real stars. So thank you so much, and thank you guys.
Next, I want to invite Director of Metcom, Anthony Tony Cannon. Join me. Congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you.
I'd like to read this plaque from McLean County in recognition of Anthony W. Cannon for 22 years of service to the citizens of McLean County at the Metro McLean County Centralized Communications Center. As CAD Systems Administrator from April 3rd, 2000 to October 5th, 2002, and Director from October 6th, 2002 to March 25th, 2022, coming up. On behalf of the citizens of McLean County Board expresses appreciation and gratitude for your years of dedicated service, as well as your contributions to improving the services offered by the Metro McLean County Centralized Communications Center for the benefit of all the citizens of McLean County. Thank you very much, and this is presented to you this 10th day of March, 22.
Thank you very much.
Want to say a few words?
I'm very honored by this recognition. When I started in public safety over 30 years ago, I didn't know that I would end up being the director of Metcom. As it turns out, it was the right path for myself and my family. It's had its challenges. I think you all are well aware of that, but it's had its rewards as well. I'd like to thank this board, county administration, and both the ETSB and Metcom boards for all their support throughout the years. Thank you.
At this time, we'll move on to item 8 on our agenda, standing committee reports. And first of all is the Executive Committee Vice Chairman Soldner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Executive Committee has 4 items this evening for action. The first one is 8A, 1A, request approval of the chairman's recommendation on appointment to County Board District Number 4, and I will hand it back to you, sir.
Thank you, Member Solner. Item A1A requests approval for my recommendation, and I'm happy to recommend Mr. Matthew Coates to fill a position as our new member of the county board, and I need a motion to approve. Motion by Member Rogal, second by Member Chung. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion has carried. Mr. Coates, welcome. Come up, get sworn in, and have your seat.
Get in here somehow. Okay, would you raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me? I state your name.
Matt Coates,
Having been appointed
having been appointed
to the office of McLean County Board,
to the office of McLean County Board,
Member District 4,
Member District 4,
in the County of McLean
in the County of McLean,
and the State of Illinois,
in the State of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of McLean County Board,
of the office of McLean County Board,
Member District 4,
Member District 4,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sign right here.
Yes, right here, isn't it? We moved Ben around, so let's see if this is right. Mr. Coates, Member Coates has his packet, and he's been preparing this week, and so is ready to go. And we'll go ahead from there, and Member Solner, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next item is 8A1B, request approval of a resolution approving the chairman's appointments to the standing committees, subcommittees, and the Liquor Control Commission of the McLean County Board, and I so move.
This motion by Member Solner, second by Member Schaefer. Comments or questions? You have the, all of those in front of you. Basically, Mr. Coates is replacing Mr. Webb. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion has carried.
Next item is 8A1C, request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2021 combined annual appropriation and budget ordinance. This is for the premium pay, and I so move.
Motion by Vice Chairman Solner. Is there a second? Second by Member Frederick. Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? The motion's passed.
All right, next item is 8A1D, request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2022 combined annual appropriation and budget ordinance, and this is for the village programs through the ARPA program, and I so move.
Motion by Vice Chairman Solner, second by Member Johnston. Comments or questions? Member Metzger.
Thank you, Chairman. I just would like to make the comment that the proactive actions of the Mayor's Association that are representing those McLean County rural residents is quite admirable, and the funds are desperately needed. And I'm going to support this, and will continue to support any monies that would be requested on behalf of those residents in my district and in the other rural districts. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Member Solner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I agree with Member Metzger, and I'd also like to thank the administration and the chairman to agreeing to meet with the mayors to discuss this. I know this is just one of many groups who would like to have part of this ARPA money, and we spent money for nursing home, for the historical museum, for Kamlar Park, and I think this money will be spread out a little more to the rural parts of the county. I know it's appreciated. So thank you very much.
And I also want to thank all the mayors. Thank you for coordinating this, Mayor Johansson and everyone that attended in the meetings we had, and that really helped us get on board with all the needs that you had in the county. So thanks again. Thank you. Anyone else? Member Klein.
I just want to seek some clarification. In the packet, county administrations listed $4,162,045, but there are also two other concomitant
Yes,
requests from
there were
Danvers
two
and Elton.
additional requests
So
that
what
were
is
submitted.
what is the total amount?
The total amount that was set aside for this and would be approved is 5 million total, right? There is possibility there could be one more we'll have to come back and take a vote on. That'd be a small one.
So the vote today would be up to 5 million.
Up to,
Thank you.
yes. I know it's kind of confusing when you read that at first, yeah. Anyone else? Yeah, Member Johnston.
Thank you. I just wanted to mention at exec committee, we did, each mayor, well, many of the mayors came up and spoke, and it was very informative for me to understand that a lot of these projects, we do have one project that is completely restructuring, rebuilding a water tower, but some of these projects are about maintenance. And on property committee, we know how important maintenance is. So we're actually being able to defer multiple rebuildings by doing the work right now. And some of these projects are, yes, it's 250,000 up to 360,000 to kind of refurbish the water towers. But when we look at the one tower that's being rebuilt, this is a much more financially feasible projects that we're funding, and that's saving our county lots of money in the long run. So
Yes,
I am
thank
in-
you very
I am
much
in
for
support of
that.
this.
Yeah, and I always want to, we have a large county and there's a lot of great communities, so I always want to encourage all our board members to get out and get familiar with our county. And I'm glad that the mayors have come in, and they'll be having a Mayors Association meeting and coming up in here in this room pretty quickly, so as well. So we'll try to always keep communicating. About 25% of our population is outside of Bloomington Normal. Thank you very much. I have to call a vote here. Any other comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? And motion's passed. Thank you very much. Member Solar, you have the floor.
Mr. Chairman, that is all we have tonight from the Executive Committee. I'd be glad to answer any questions. Our general report can be found in the unapproved minutes.
Thank you very much. We'll go on to the report of the Finance Committee. Chairman Metzger.
Thank you, Chairman McIntyre. 8-1A, request approval of an ordinance of the McLean County Board amending the 2021 Combined Annual Budget and Appropriation Ordinance, and I so move.
Motion by Chairman Metzger, second by Member Thompson. Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? And motion's carried.
Moving on, 8-1B, request approval of an ordinance of the McLean County Board amending the 2022 Combined Annual Budget and Appropriation Ordinance, and I so move.
Motion by Chairman Metzger, second. Second by Member Bloomfield. Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion's carried.
Finally, 8B1C, and that's request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2021 combined annual appropriation and budget ordinance for the treasurer and the county clerk departments, and I so move.
Motion by Chairman Metzger. Is there a second? Second by Member Lehman. Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion is carried.
And our general report will be found in the upcoming unapproved meeting minutes. Thank you. Any questions, I'd be happy.
Thank you very much. We'll go on to the report of the Health Committee. Chairman Schaefer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Health Committee has 3 items for action. 8C1A is request approval of an ordinance of the McLean County Board amending the 2022 Combined Appropriation Budget Ordinance for Fund 107, and I so move.
Motion by Chairman Schaefer, second by Member Martin. Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion is carried.
If there is no objection, I would like to combine C1B and C together since they're both cleanup items.
Is there any objection to combining B and C? Hearing none, you may proceed.
Thank you. C1B is request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2021 combined annual appropriation and budget ordinance for Fund 110. And C1C is request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2021 combined annual appropriation and budget ordinance for Fund 107, and I so move.
Motion by Chairman Schaefer, second by Member Chung. Comments or questions? All in favor of items C, B, and C, please say aye. And opposed? Motion's carried.
And that is all we have today. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go on to the report of the Justice Committee. Vice Chairman Wendt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I would propose item 8D, 1A, request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2021 combined annual appropriation and budget ordinance for the Sheriff's Department, and I so move.
Motion by Vice Chairman Wendt. Is there a second? Second by Member Metzger. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye,
And opposed? Motion is carried.
and that's all we have. Thank you,
Okay,
Mr.
thank you,
Chairman.
sir. We'll move on to the report of the Property Committee. Chairman Barnett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Property Committee brings forward one item for action this evening. Item E1A, request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2021 combined annual appropriation and budget ordinance for the Parks and Recreation Department on pages 64, 65 in the packet, and I so move that.
Motion by Chairman Barnett. Is there a second? Second by Member Johnston. Comments or questions? Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion's carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Property has no other items for action this evening, but be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, sir. We'll go on to the report of the Land Use and Transportation Committee. Chairman Solner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Land Use and Transportation has several items this evening. I'd like to combine, with your permission, I would like to combine 8F1A and B together. They both deal with show bus and applications to IDOT.
Is there any objection to combining A and B? Hearing none, you may proceed.
All right, 8F1A, request approval of an Illinois Department of Transportation fiscal 2023, section 5311, formula application for rural areas operating assistance, and I so move. I would also like to add 8F1B, request approval of an IDOT fiscal year 2023 downstate operating assistance program application for rural areas, and I'd make a motion for both of those.
All in favor of items, I'm sorry, F1A, I'm sorry, we got a motion. Is there a second? Second by Member Lehman. Any comments or questions? Jumping ahead, sorry. All in favor of items F1A and B, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion's carried.
All right.
Thank you.
And if I may, I'd like to include letters C and D together. Again, they both deal with show bus and they are both agreements.
Are there any objections to combining C and D? Hearing none, you may proceed.
All right, 8F1C, request approval of a purchase of service agreement between McLean County and the show bus for rural public transportation in fiscal year 2023. And I request approval of a revised vehicle lease agreement between McLean County and show bus, and I so move.
Motion C and D by Member Solner. Is there a second? Second by Member Klein. Comments or questions? All in favor of items C and D, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion's carried.
All right. Next item, 8F1E, approve request of the McLean County Land Use and Development Committee in case ZA-22-01. And this helps us define the definition of a farm, and I so move.
These are text amendments and ordinance, and so we'll take these separately. Motion by Member Solner for item E. Is there a second? Second by Member Thompson. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion's carried.
Next item is 8F1F, approve request of McLean County Land Use and Development Committee in case ZA-22-02. And this allows the newly formed Land Use and Transportation Committee to send text amendments to the ZBA, and I so move.
Motion by Chairman Solner, is there a second? Second by Member Bloomfield. Comments or questions? Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed. Motion is carried.
Next item is 8F1G, approve request of the McLean County Land Use and Development Committee in case ZA 22-03. And this requires wind farm developers to fix and replace tile, septic system, and other issues that they may cause. And I so move that.
Motion by Chairman Solner, second by Member Chung. Comments or questions? Member Metzger.
I just want to, both this, that would be G and H, I just want to make a comment, and that has to do with, again, some proactive actions on the part of county board members, especially Member Johnson and Member Klein. Member Erickson also worked with this, and to work together as a group to develop, again, some needs that we saw as these hearings, the ZBA hearings took place. And so these were just small text changes that should be helpful to the zoning board. And two of our members, actually three of our members, Member Solner, Member Klein, and Member Johnson, spoke at that zoning board of appeals and provided some great insight that helped drive this forward. And I just wanted to, this is an example of working together. It's also an example of the land use committee bringing forward text amendments. And so if it's done right, it's done well, and it can be
know this is a change,
very
yeah.
successful. So I
Thank
want
you.
to
Yeah.
make those
Thank you for that.
acknowledgements.
Are there any other comments or questions? Discussion. Okay, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed. Motion's carried.
Lastly, 8F1H, approve request from the McLean County Land Use and Development Committee in case ZA 22-4. And this requires certified notification to landowners when there will be 5 or more wind towers within a mile of their residence, and I so move.
Motion by Chairman Solner. Is there a second? Second by Member Bell. Comments or questions? Discussion? Yes, ma'am.
It's not landowners, it's residents.
Correct. Apologize for that.
Thank you.
We'll stand corrected. Okay, any other comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion's carried.
That's all Land Use and Transportation Committee has this evening. Our general report can be found in the unapproved minutes, and I would be glad to answer any other questions.
Thank you, sir. We'll go on to the report of the county administrator, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you, Chairman McIntyre. I have nothing to present this evening.
Okay, thank you. We'll go on to item 9 on our agenda, appearance by members of the public and county employees in reference to an item not on the agenda. We had no one apply to appear tonight, so we'll go on to other business communication. Before I start with calling up our presenter, is there any other business and communication that anyone has to present tonight? If not, we'll move on. Member Johnston has requested the appearance of members of the director from the University of Illinois Extension, County Extension. So Ms. Bobby Jo Shipley, if you could come up to the podium, please, and bring anyone that you'd like to present. This, so you'll know, members, this is not a public speech. This is a presentation. Question and answers are permitted after the presentation, and there's 15 minutes allowed. Ms. Shipley, Mrs. Shipley, you go ahead and proceed. When you're ready, you have 15 minutes.
Yep. You're fine. USB? We have a clicker, Julia.
Thank you. As some of you may know, as Chairman McIntyre introduced me, my name is Bobby Lewis Sibley, and I am the County Director for the Livingston, McLean, and Woodford County Extension Offices. And I have all the educators here this evening to talk specifically about their program areas. And so first up is Katie Buckley. She's our 4-H Youth Development Educator.
So as you can see from the slide presented, these are our numbers for the 2020 and 2021 4-H year, as well as the 2021-2022 4-H year. COVID took a hard hit on programming for youth due to COVID. So as you can see, though, our numbers are increasing as far as enrollment. Our Clover Buds, which are in youth ages 5 to 7, has grown increasingly over this past year. And then our club members are the same. However, our 4-H year does not end until August 31st. So there's still room to grow for that. And then I'd just like to talk a little bit about our programming. We've introduced some new spin clubs, which are special interest clubs. Your Thoughts Matter, which focuses on youth mental health and how they can relate to it within themselves and with their peers. Another one is eSports, which teaches youth sportsmanship as well as communication in the areas of sports online. Another program we have that's well attended in McLean County is Check It Out, which is our embryology program. I currently have 125 educators throughout the county enrolled in our embryology program, and they'll start incubating eggs April 4th. I am certified to teach youth mental health first aid. I've currently held one class at Heartland Community College, and then we'll host a class tomorrow in our office there. And then finally, just a couple workshops we have hosted. Learn and Fun Day, which happened President's Day. We had 91 youth signed up for it. We also host shooting sports and workshops on drones. So that's just a little bit about McLean County 4-H.
The next thing up is actually Unity Community Center. And this is one of the legacies of Willie Brown, who unfortunately just passed away, but he is one of the founders, along with Kathy Johnson, of the Unity Community Center. He helped start it in 2003. It's a multicultural family center in North Normal, and our audience there is actually families who are either immigrant or low income or receive ESL services at Unit 5. So we are an ESL site for Unit 5, and those students attend Unity after school for increased tutoring. We serve up to 50 youth per night, 9 months out of the year during the school year, and we do summer camps as well. And Nick will tell you a little bit more also about what we do there, but some of the things are, besides the academic support, we provide a meal for them each evening, and families with food boxes. We have a large production garden where we provide fresh produce to them, and of course, positive youth development programs.
I was going to say, I need each person to come up so that they get picked up by the mic. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kelly Alsop. I'm a horticulture educator, and I also serve Livingston, McLean, and Woodford County. One of the programs that I have been working on lately is a statewide and a local effort to increase awareness of urban tree health. The latest research is showing that we are planting trees in the urban environment, but they are not living long enough for us to actually get the benefits of trees. Some of this has a lot to do with just poor tree selection, improper tree planting, and lack of follow-up care. So initially, I started I'm part of a statewide program funded by USDA Forest Service and the Illinois Department of Natural Resources to train a core group of master gardener and master naturalist volunteers on tree identification and being able to make tree healthcare assessments for their communities. Locally, there were 15, but statewide, we trained 200. But just that core of 15 volunteers here in McLean County, we followed up by training other volunteers within our unit and tree healthcare professionals. We taught them how to properly plant trees and properly pruning. This kind of momentum morphed into a state webinar where I connected to over 148 tree care professionals and extension volunteers and taught them a lot about urban ecology and urban tree healthcare. And I intend to go forward with this momentum and continue teaching about urban tree healthcare and contributing to tree planting initiatives in McLean County. Brittany?
All right, thank you for your time tonight. My name is Brittany Haig, and I am also a horticulture educator for the unit. Kelly and I are horticulture educators that support our 3 Master Gardener County programs. Our McLean County Master Gardener program started here in McLean County in 1998. We currently have 106 very active, passionate gardeners that share their knowledge of gardening throughout our McLean County communities. Last year, the Master Gardeners gave over 6,000 volunteer hours throughout McLean County, so impressive. They volunteer through 4 community projects and 4 youth-focused projects. Their signature highlight program is the Sarah's Garden at David Davis Mansion. It does a wonderful job of blending that history of the restored garden with the horticulture education, reaching all sorts of youth audiences to adult audience as well. It's a very special program for our Master Gardeners. As a horticulture educator, my focus is on youth horticulture education. I get to introduce those little ones to so important skills of growing food, growing flowers, and teaching them about connecting with our land and appreciating our land and building that connection with nature. It's so important for our youth. And one project I do want to highlight is the Little Roots program. In 2017, I collaborated with Jessica Chambers from the ISU Horticulture Center to create this Little Roots gardening program to really just to get kids in McLean County to start gardening. And this has since expanded greatly. It is now a signature statewide 4-H program that has reached over 800 youth in 30 counties, and it all started here in McLean County. It really builds that connection with nature, teaching these kiddos to grow 7 different crops from May and through September, doing environmental activities. And then, so like I said, I do a lot of youth horticulture program. 2020 and 2021 have given me great challenges. I couldn't get in the classroom and do the typical horticulture education I could with the kiddos. So we've had to be creative. I've done a lot of activity kits where I've partnered with community organizations to provide these hands-on activities. Kiddos can get interaction with nature at home outside of the classroom. I've also found that activity stations at community events, school events, have been so successful. Just a minute I get with these kids can build a spark that they can further develop and build that appreciation for nature. So I really look forward to getting back into the schools, getting back to after-school programs, school clubs, the youth organizations, and connecting with the teachers to support these youth. I think now more than ever, our youth need that connection with nature, and I'm really excited to be able to do that. So thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having us again. I'm Nick Frillman. I'm the local food systems and small farms educator for McLean as well as Livingston and Woodford counties. And I'll just jump right into my programming here. This is a photo of some of the almost 1,200 pounds of food that was grown just over summer at our Unity Food Production and Demonstration Garden, which Bobby alluded to earlier. But more importantly, on the right-hand side of the screen there is a picture of some oats that's part of some ongoing no-till and regular cover crops research that's also ongoing at the Unity site. And this is already, just in my first year with Extension, been pointed to by some farmers that I'm working with as being really valuable research that's incredibly needed at this time, especially with climate change. So moving on to our other area of programming here that I manage, this is the Refuge Food Forest, right here in Normal, right here in McLean County as well. This is an amazing research, food access, and teaching resource for McLean County. So on the left, that's a picture of a really heavily laden pear tree, and a lot of buzz going on in the farming community right now on small farms about adding perennial agriculture back into their systems. But they're a little wary and they haven't done it before. They don't know how it's going to work on their operation. So the Refuge Food Forest allows not only myself, but other extension educators to innovate in an outdoor environment and then report out those results to interested parties. So that's been incredibly useful for our McLean County farmers. Also, we get to have some fun from time to time and make some ice cream from some of those perennial fruits that we grow out there, and then educate not only members of the public, but professionals, farmers as well. Come out to our workshops out there. That's a photo of myself conducting a pruning program just last year. So it's a really great resource. And then there's also the added benefit of it being another McLean County site that grows over several hundred pounds of produce completely open to the public for picking whenever they want, just adding to our food security right here in county. And then last but not least, I'm the educational liaison to the Master Naturalist program for extension. We're having a fall training just this year, so if you know anybody that wants to be a Master Naturalist, get in touch with us. But we have 78 volunteers, and that's the 3-county program, but the bulk of our volunteers do live in McLean County. And just last year, we had over 1,000 hours of continuing ed, as well as 3,500 hours or more volunteer work done, once again, the bulk of the program in county. And so they're just constantly learning and wanting to share that information with our residents at all the classes that they teach. So that was just a little bit from me. Thanks a lot.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kamaya Wells-Bishard. I am the Consumer Economics Educator in McLean County, and I am so happy to talk a little bit about my programming tonight. So I just wanted to quickly highlight some of the programs that we do. So a big part of my job is we focus on helping communities, individuals build like financial capacity through teaching personal finance and money management skills to folks along the life course. So we have from our preschoolers up to our older adults that we work with. And so 3 of the programs that I highlighted up here are Get Savvy, Let's Talk Money, and Financial Wellness series. And these are just some of the numbers to show the impact of our programs. But we try to work well with like our local organizations to promote different money management workshops and to build like the capacity that we see in different communities. So an important part of my job and what I do is try to ignite conversations about money so that can start when they're this tall to they're this tall. So lots of different conversations around money and implement programs that helps with that. As you can tell, there's a theme with us with the extension. We do a lot of great impactful work, but we also work so well with like volunteers in our community. We are community-based, and so we try to get folks involved in what we do. And so in addition to like our Master Gardeners program, we have our Money Mentors program where we train individuals to work one-on-one with participants in our community. So these are folks who are seeking help with just basic personal finance information. And so our volunteers go through 30 hours of training on different money management topics. So with budgeting, savings, building emergency savings, different topics like that. And so our volunteers go through this training and they do like continuing education throughout the year. And their job is just to work with folks in confidential settings to help them build and establish like the dreams that they're trying to build financially. So I want to quickly share that from 2020, 2021, we did some evaluation with our Money Mentors program just to kind of see what the impact is, what's the value that people get from this program, and what the value does our mentors get from the program, our volunteers. And the evaluation data showed that they see an increase in emergency savings and long-term savings, so that's in terms of like retirement savings. They saw that among like the participants in the program, and they saw like a decrease in debt. So these are people who are coming to us for help on, just trying to figure out how they're going to manage financially. And we work with them in that way to help them achieve their goals. All right, thank you.
That's not me. Um, so I'm Rachel Ben. I'm a nutrition and wellness program coordinator. Jenna Smith is our educator, and she was not able to make it tonight, so I am going to give her presentation on her behalf. So I went the wrong way. Okay, stay there. Okay, so the nutrition and wellness team provides education in 3 main state priority areas, which are food safety, chronic disease prevention and management, and food access. So just highlighting a few of these programs, Jenna has done a lot of work under cottage food, and if you aren't familiar with the cottage food law, that allows food entrepreneurs to prepare certain homemade products in their home kitchens and sell them at the farmers market, fairs, festivals, and from their own homes as well. There are a number of cottage food operators in McLean County, and that number is expected to grow as they recently passed an amendment to the law to make it a little bit easier as well. Last year, Jenna taught 117 statewide participants, focusing on proper food safety practices and regulations regarding cottage food, and is about to launch Extension's first cottage food operations online course, as well as a cottage food guide that she's worked on with over 40 different partners. The majority of our nutrition and wellness programs fall under the chronic disease prevention and management priority area, focusing mainly on diabetes and heart health. So with the pandemic, a lot of these programs did have to happen online this past year. And so Jenna taught 3 statewide webinar series with other state nutrition and wellness educators that reached 683 participants. And then we also do a lot of cooking classes. So the picture that you see on the right is also from the Refuge Food Forest that Nick mentioned, and that is from the Blackcurrant program that we did at the Food Forest. And then lastly, touching on our Garden in a Bag program, this is a joint program between the Nutrition and Wellness team and Kelly. And our goal with this program is to bring small, portable 3-gallon bags that you see there in that bottom picture to individuals who may otherwise lack the space to garden or have gardening knowledge. And so this last year, we distributed 370 bags to various community partners and community pantries, including like West Bloomington Revitalization Project, Western Avenue, and Heartland Head Start as well. And then all of the educational materials for that program were translated into Spanish, as about 17% of participants were either Hispanic or Latino.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Stacy Cousins. I am the SNAP Ed educator for our unit. And if you're not familiar with SNAP Ed, it stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program Education. So it's the education component for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, what used to be called food stamps. Unlike all of my colleagues here, unfortunately with my program, there is a qualifying threshold. So the agencies that I work with, 50% or more of their participants must be eligible for SNAP benefits. They don't need to be receiving them, but they must be eligible for them. So the schools that we work with, the students, 50% or more of the students have to qualify for free or reduced lunch prices, or food pantries, anywhere where that population is at least mostly eligible for SNAP benefits. There are 2 parts in my program. So we have the direct education part of the program, which is where we go to the community partners that we are working with and do nutrition education there for their families, for their youth, for their adults, whoever attends their site. Most of the time, we are doing a series of nutrition lessons. We really like for everyone to build that knowledge that they need to be able to make healthy meals for their families. But we can sometimes do one-off programming depending on what the need of our agencies are. We have 1 staff person that does direct education in McLean County. Last year, she was able to do 65 programs and reach 189 unique participants. That number is not duplicated participants at all. The pandemic did affect the amount of programming she was able to do. Her numbers are usually much higher than that, but schools have been a little bit difficult to reach during the pandemic. So that's hindered her a little bit. The part of the program that I work on is policy systems and environmental changes, or what I call PSE.
because that's a big mouthful to try to say it over and over again. So the PSE work that I do, I partner with the same partners or same agencies, and then we work on making environmental changes that make the healthy choice the easy choice for our low resource families. So I work with food pantries or schools to make those changes. You see the picture of some signage in the Salvation Army food pantry there that gives different nutrition tips about the food that they have. Ultimately, we're working with our partners to get them to adopt nutrition policies because that makes those changes permanent and helps our families in the long run. I just joined this unit in June of last year, so I'm really proud of the fact that I was able to partner with Midwest Food Bank. We have worked together for them to adopt a nutrition policy that we're working on the implementation phase of right now. So over the next few months, you'll see some healthier items coming out of Midwest Food Bank and into our food pantries, which will ultimately better the health of our county. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions of Ms. Sibley this time? Member Frederick.
Yes, thank you, excuse me. These questions are directed to you, Bobby. I just have a couple questions. Great presentation. As you know, I'm a farmer in McLean County. Yep. So I'm wondering if you would be willing to provide this group taxpayer oversight on your budget and where your monies are being appropriated.
Yep, so the Extension Council and the 3 members of the county board do meet together, and they do that. So we do provide them the fiscal documents from Extension and our budget. So they do get copies of that.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay. Is any of our funds from McLean County being distributed in other counties?
No, we actually keep all 3 of our counties' fiscal records completely separate.
Okay. It's great, the volunteerism that's we've had over the years with county extension. Can you provide us with what the 4-H enrollment participation was 10 years ago as opposed to what you proposed, what you've shown us tonight? What the 4-H leadership is, or what the 4-H youth participation was 10 years ago as opposed to today?
So we keep 3+ current years, so I can go back 4. And I could definitely provide that to the county board.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Those are the retention policies of the University of Illinois, which we have to follow.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other questions from anyone? Okay, well, thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Is any other business for tonight? Hearing none, well, everybody be safe and be good to each other, and we will adjourn this meeting.